online today. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce two new members that will be going before the board for approval, and that's Emma Kelleher and David Mitchell, and they are joining us right now. Emma is the student leader at Eckerd College and regular rider of the Spark and Sunrunner. And David Mitchell is a daily rider of the Suncoast Beach Trolley and Mid-County buses with a background in law enforcement and the U.S. Coast Guard. Hello to each of you.
Hello.
Yeah, we're all saying hello to you. Okay. And then the second part is public comment. During the meeting, the public can provide public comment via telephone by calling 1-305-224-1968. And the meeting ID is 837-1383-3732. Individuals will be able to speak for 3 minutes during the public comment period. Again, to make a public comment today, members of the public should call 1-305-224-1968, and the meeting ID is 837-1383-2732. The second option would be for the public is to offer written comments prior to the meeting and by mail to PSTA. Juan, have we received anything in the mail? Juan or Carrie, have we received anything in the mail? Public comment?
No.
All right, yeah, and then the third option would be public comment at psta.net. And again, have we gotten anything with email? No. Okay. All right. So,
I'd like to talk. I'd like to make a comment.
Is it a comment about the meeting or because we do have member comments at the end? But go ahead. What's up, Kim?
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'll wait till the end. I have a member comment about access service.
Oh, okay. Yeah, save that for the member comments. I think
Fair
that's
enough. Thank you.
very helpful. Okay. And then the other thing I'd like to do is among the people that are on the call right now, I'd like to confirm that we can see and hear you. And so a roll call. Jay James. I know I saw Jay before. Jay.
Present.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Kim Rankin.
Present here.
Thank you. Maxwell Johnson.
Present.
Thank you. Mark Boyce. No. Peter Ray. No. Richard Powell he was going to the phone call, right?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Well, we'll hopefully we'll have him. Richard McDaniel, you said was ill today. Conrad Longenheim. He's not on. And Roman Sherbalko.
Yep, I'm here.
Thank you. And then Stuart Westerman. Okay, again, no, not present. All right, thank you. The first item on our agenda is my report from the relative to the board meeting. Now I just lost my notes. Darn. I had notes and they just seem to have disappeared. Okay. Well, first of all, the board recognized two new incoming members to the board, Vince Nowicki and Richie Floyd. And they also recognized the outgoing member, Chris Latvala. And then the meeting also addressed an interesting program. They have a vehicle donation that was made to the Pinellas Technical College. It was an old bus that was not usable in terms of even, salvaging the parts from it, for any of their current fleet. And so they got the approval of the board to donate it to the college. And it would help the college in collaboration, is expected to support future hiring needs for bus operators and maintenance technicians because it will be used for CDL classes and maintenance training. So it was, a very good gift to the college, but also a good opportunity for us. And the board did approve that. And then two other items that I noticed because I just rewatched the board meeting. They talked about Darden Rice talked about a collaboration with Dunedin for two new bus shelters that are attractive, decorative ones where it's a 50% that Dunedin's paying for and 50% is covered from PSTA. So that was a lovely, interesting program. And then the last thing was that Debbie Leas, who's going to talk with us today, we talked about PSTA's administrative expenses and how they work to ensure that they meet the guidelines that they need to meet. And not only does PSTA meet those guidelines, they exceed those guidelines. And again, I was telling Debbie at the start of the meeting, she's going to speak with us about how lucky we all are to have her, because as she says, we do an awful lot with a little, and we are and considered to be a very efficient transit system. So that was nice to see. Okay. So the next item on our agenda is the Forward Pinellas report. But I think we were just talking, we did not have anyone from the track attending the CAC for Forward Pinellas this month. Is that correct? Juan, do you know that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, and the one thing I was telling Juan is that this morning I did attend a meeting at Forward Pinellas that was not the CAC, but it was the meeting about the for the transportation disadvantaged programs, and it was the local coordinating board for that. And again, some very interesting information. And again, it's so important to have some of us who are transit riders actually speaking at that meeting, or being involved in meetings like that. There were several conversations about the whole need for regional services and the funding of the TD Tampa Bay program. And someone at the meeting said, well, consumers by and large don't know the difference, where the county lines start and end. And I raised my hand and said, wait a minute, all of us who use transit very much do. And so again, I think that's a very important message that we all can keep telling people, is that as transit riders, we experience something very different than other people do, and regional transit is something that's very important for us. So okay, so that's it, I think, from Forward Pinellas. Oh, I'm sorry, one other piece. They did talk again about the whole idea of merging the MPOs, and again, that's why it's very important that we know that the voices of the people from Pinellas County who may want to go to the other counties, that those voices get heard. So the next item are the action items, and the first action item for us is going to be the presentation by Debbie Leas, our Chief Financial Officer, which is an overview of the property tax cuts and the potential impacts to us. So.
Well, thank you, Gloria, and I'm going to have Juan share the slides. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Debbie Leas. I'm the Chief Financial Officer. One of the things that I love doing is dealing with the challenges of working with a budget. And one of the things that's affecting us is going to be property taxes. And I'll let Juan get settled in there. With that, some of the other things while he's doing that I do is you will hear from me probably periodically throughout the budget season. That's one of the things I'm working on now, as well as our annual report that we do. And I'm also responsible for risk and IT and grants and project management. So there is never a dull day here at PSTA, and I love every single minute of it.
Can everyone see the presentation?
Yes, I think you just need to
Next
probably
slide.
hit yep,
I can see it.
yeah, go down a few slides.
Juan, you're showing the wrong view.
Yeah.
Like the presentation is not full screen right now.
Okay.
Just tell them the keystrokes to hit to run the slideshow.
Yeah.
Is that better?
It is perfect. Thank you, Juan.
Yep.
Thank you. So one of the hot topics during this legislative session in Tallahassee is about the property tax. The governor and others are looking to have property tax reform, of course, looking to lower the taxes. And as I note on here, this could be really significant to PSTA as well as all the municipalities and counties. But we're going to be focusing on how this may impact PSTA. Now, our largest revenue line item is property taxes. It makes up about 70% of all the revenues we take in, which equates out to be almost $86 million we get in to cover about $124 million worth of expenses. Next slide, Juan. All right, well, there are multiple bills that have been introduced into the House, and we're going to go through them fairly quickly. And I am so grateful for Mike Twitty's office, who put together a wonderful calculator that I will be showing you through each of these bills. So the first bill that was introduced was House Joint Resolution 201. This basically eliminates all the non-school tax, property taxes on homesteaded properties. Any of these ones that I'm going to be talking about today is going to need voter approval and have to be approved by about 60%. The loss of this, and remember I said we bring in about 86 million, would be approximately $35 million. Absolutely devastating. Next slide. So this is what the calculator looks like. And I love it. I called them, I talked to them and said, this is great. You can plug things in with each of the bills. And this bill, if we eliminated all the non-school tax, property taxes, we would lose about the 35 million or 28% of our revenue. Next slide. So the next bill that we have, which is 205, eliminates the property taxes for those of us like me who are a senior. And this again requires voter approval. And we would lose approximately $15 million with this. Next slide. So that represents about 12% of our revenue. Next slide. And then House Bill 207, this adds a new exemption, and this is exempting property taxes of equal to 25% of your remaining assessed value after all the other exemptions that you may have. Our estimated loss would be about 9 million. So this is a brand new exemption. Next slide. So this represents about 7.25% loss of revenue. Next slide. Now this one, HJR 209, is interesting. And it's incentive-based proposition that if you insure your home, the state will increase the exemption for the homestead property by $200,000 with an estimated revenue loss of $21 million to PSTA. So they're saying if you insure your home, we'll increase your property tax exemption. I'm not sure why I wouldn't want to insure my home, but there you go. Next slide. So this represents 17% loss of revenue to PSTA. Next slide. So this one, HJR 211, proposes to increase the maximum value of the accrued Save Our Homes benefit that may be transferred to a new homestead. Now, they don't really know what the impact will be because they feel that people will probably not sell their home to be able to what they call port over the value of it to another home. But they estimate probably $1 million. Next slide. So this represents a small piece of revenue, but $1 million is still rather significant when you're trying to find savings. And as Gloria mentioned, we're pretty cost effective here already. Next slide. So this last one, 213, we don't have the impacts determined yet, but this would limit your homestead assessment increases to once every 3 years, which basically means we'd get a 0% increase probably, or close to it, on all of our taxes for a couple year period. The only changes would be for someone who sold their home and a new person buying it. Of course, that value goes up because the homesteading goes away. So there's a lot to digest here, and you can go, I think the next slide, I think that was it. No, the combination of all these things. So we have everything from $35 million loss to $1 million. Let me put this in perspective, and Jay James probably remembers this from a couple years as well as Gloria and Kimberly, is that we were looking and we did decrease some of our routes to save money. And when we looked at things back then, we said, what if we went ahead and had to cut? At that time, it was, I'm going to say, around $7 million. That was devastating to the routes. And that also would mean that we'd lose a significant number, probably 100 and some people here at PSTA. So the impacts of what they're proposing in Tallahassee are going to have impacts at PSTA. They're going to have impacts whether it's sewer, water, libraries, anything non-school tax, potentially first responders, fire, police, some of them exempt it. Your paramedics, et cetera. So this is a widespread impact. What we're hearing so far is something may happen, but we just don't know what yet. Of course, there's a lot of concerns by everybody across the state on this, although we do understand everybody wants to save on taxes. Who wouldn't want to pay less? It's just a matter at what cost. I think that ends my slides, Juan. No, it does not. I was surprised yet again. It's been a couple days since I looked at it, long weekend. So this is going to impact us in a lot of different ways, and we're going to be having to start the planning department, start looking at the variety of things that would have to happen if any one of these things came to being. And what's more important is looking at alternative revenues. I honestly, off the top of my head, don't know how we can make up a significant, like $35 million if it was the worst case. But it's important to diversify revenues, and that's something we've been working to do. And all ideas are welcome if you come up with any of them. So I'll take any questions at this time.
Okay, can people raise their hands? I can't see now that we've got the screen up there.
There we go.
Let me see what I've got here. I don't see if anybody has their hand up. I have a first question while we're waiting, and that is that, can we do anything like with a letter writing campaign? We can even, there've been times we've written letters by the committee, I don't want to speak for the committee without the committee voting on that and choosing it, but what can we do to reach out to our legislators to let them know that we are voters as well, and we are users of transit, and if you take this away, property taxes oftentimes rewards the people who have their cars, and those of us who don't have cars or can't drive for whatever reason may not be as represented by the property tax people, the property people that are going to get the tax breaks. So
I think that's a great idea. I will definitely reach out to our lobbyists, and I think a letter to, some of our representatives would be an excellent idea. So I appreciate, the support and anything that we can do.
I'm not sure how we need to handle that, but I mean, I guess the thought I have is that first of all, I would like to ask PSTA to tell us who are our representatives that we need to send letters to.
Okay.
Then also, do we need to compose a letter and then circulate it to our track members and see if they support us doing that? I think we have to have a vote of the committee to do that, probably.
Yeah, here's what,
Gloria,
what-
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Gloria, Juan and I can work with you on that. We can, as this goes forward in the legislature and we have a better idea of what may or may not ultimately be shaping up, we can put together some talking points and get you the contact information for our local representatives, both with our state house and state senate.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
because
Deb.
I'm hearing we can do it as the committee, and then each of us individually could also then do our own letter. So the more, I know that they do respond to who they hear from and who phone calls and so forth. So I see some hands up. Jay?
Yes. I like the letter idea that Gloria just mentioned. I just question how do they expect things to run without property taxes, especially since they made it we cannot raise our property tax um above what the thing is now to I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. To be quite honest. Um can't raise property tax, don't want to do sales tax. Um I don't know.
We're all
It's just a,
facing this one together, so it's one of those things across the entire state, and I think the state has to look and say, how do we make up some of this?
yeah, especially since we're a state that does not have income tax. It's like the states only have so many different ways to tax our peoples, to pay for the services and benefits and all the things that we have. Like I kept seeing the schools be accepted, but I didn't see a single exception for fire rescue. It's like, are we going to go back to the day where you have to pay a fire fee on each individual home to get fire service now? And now the fire department have to know if this individual home paid their fire fee before they give them fire service. Like, what is the I'm sorry. I just have concerns about it. And then for us, a $35 million cut, if that's what ended up happening, they might as well just close PSTA because there's not going to be much service left, and then we have to pay all of the federal funds that we've gotten um for specific things that we wouldn't be able to do now. Then we have to pay that back on top of that. It's so many different things that um, just for PSTA is concerning. Um, and then if we really want to go statewide, the state gets so much money from the federal government that requires matching spending that now would have to be paid back because we would not be able to pay this matching spending. So I don't know. I
What,
don't know.
what you're describing may in fact be part of the argument too, is that there are, matching funds and we need to make sure we have that, so.
Yeah.
Good.
But
No,
I fully support the letter thing because we have to let them know this is not okay. And as transit riders, we pay taxes. Some of us are homeowners, we pay home property taxes directly. But even if you're a renter like myself, I definitely pay property taxes via my rent.
you're
You
right.
know what I mean? So it's like we're all taxpayers and we all deserve a say into this. And I personally am okay with where my taxes are right now.
No, thank you. Okay, I see that Emma, our new member. Go ahead, I'd like to hear your comment.
Yeah, hi. I know this probably isn't too much help because I know you definitely have full-time staff that can work on this, but I wanted to say I'm working in Representative Lindsay Cross's office this semester, and I'm happy to forward any messaging or letters along to them on behalf of the committee if you guys want. I can say any letters or messages that do come into the office, no matter who they're from, they do make sure they go through everything and get a response. But I'd be happy maybe to give one directly as kind of part of their team this semester, if that's helpful at all. She's for District 60 in the House. So
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Emma.
and then I also had a question because I know this is relatively new, so I don't know if there is a plan yet, but if we were to lose that much revenue, what lines would be like possibly on the chopping block? Like what would the effects look like? I don't know if there's an answer to that yet because we
Not
don't
yet.
fully know the effects, but I'd be curious.
Yeah, we don't know that yet, but planning has some work cut out for them as we go through and take a look at it. And one of the things, as Gloria said, we're one of the most cost-effective transit authorities in the country. Not everybody has taken a look at some of their spending across the state, and this is for others to become cost-effective in whatever area they're in. We just don't want to do it at the expense of our riders.
Thank you. Okay, Maxwell Johnson, you have your hand up.
Possible idea when it comes to raising more revenue. I know we have we sell ad space in the form of wraps on the buses. Could we increase that program at all, or is there a limit to how many buses can have a wrap on them?
We do currently limit, like the new buses can't have wraps on them for a couple years. But we're also looking at other ways potentially of increasing ad revenue. And, all ideas are welcome for us to look at and finding other ways to maybe do ads on different totems and whatnot, so long as municipalities allow for it. Shelters, again, a lot of municipalities do not allow for ads on shelters, so we may have to work with some partners on this.
Thank you.
Sorry, I know shelter. You just said no, potentially no on shelters, but we do have benches. I've seen ads on benches.
Yeah, we don't own those. I think the
Oh.
county does.
All right. Well, thank you.
That might be a Lions Club type project with the JCs.
I'm sorry, say that again, Darden? There.
Sorry, I think it's the Lions Club or the JCs that have the benches that are out in certain places that have advertising on them. But like Debbie said, it would be in municipalities where the sign ordinance allows, the sign ordinance of a municipality determines whether an ad is allowed, whether it's our shelter, our bench, or somebody else's.
Well, by the way, when you talk advertising, and I don't know, this is a broader thing too, but it almost feels like we need to keep letting people know just how valuable transit is and how losing money from transit costs everyone money. And I know the story that I tell everybody is that, let's hope you never need the fire department. Let's hope you never need the police department, but you want to make sure they're there. And even if you don't ride transit, every person that's on the bus is somebody who's not crowding the roads. And so the more that we can tell these stories, and maybe it is about more public service stuff, getting involved with the TV stations and having them tell more stories of what the value of transit. Okay. Any other questions or comments about this depressing subject?
Sorry, Debbie Downer.
Yeah, really. No, thank you for letting us know, Debbie. I think that's very important. I appreciate it. Thank you. And keep us posted.
I will.
Okay, good. And then the next item on our agenda is we have Trish Collins, the Director of Human Resources, is going to give us an overview of the strategic plans involving key priorities and goals for PSTA.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Trish Collins. I'm the Director of Human Resources here, and it's a pleasure to be back in front of the track committee to see some familiar faces, and welcome also to our new members that are going to be joining. It's such a great thing to have our riders be a part of shaping who we are and what we do, and welcome to being a part of that effort. So, what I'm going to talk about is our strategic plan for the next 5 years. Juan, do you happen to have the slides? They start with a slide that says Vision 2030 Strategic Plan. Perfect.
Yes.
Great, thank you. And you can go ahead to the next slide. So it's a little ironic to bring this strategic plan to you all immediately after hearing Debbie give a forecast about what might be coming our way with property taxes. But this is a strategic plan that is essentially a 5-year look ahead to outline the most important and impactful projects and initiatives that we have planned at PSTA through the year 2030. The purpose of this is just the same reason that any of us would create a to-do list or a goal list for ourselves. We want to make sure that all of the departments at PSTA are working towards the same goals, that all of the efforts of our employees are focused on the same things, and that those things are aligned with the most important things that we need to be good at. So this strategic plan outlines those top priorities and then all of the projects that are going to move those priorities forward. Next slide, please, Juan. Next slide, please. While you get there, I'll just share with you all, thank you, that these 3 key priorities came out of discussions with our board, workshops that we held with board members and with staff. And those 3 priorities are financial responsibility, operational excellence, and community impact. And if you'll go to the next slide, Juan, I'm going to just walk through each of those 3 priorities at a pretty high level. You do have the full strategic plan in your packet. There's a link to it, and you'll be able to see all of the projects and initiatives that we are planning over the next 5 years. But for now, for our discussion today, I'm just going to highlight a few of the key projects that are in there. So the first of the 3 priorities is financial responsibility. And we knew that that was a priority even before any of these proposed legislative changes were being discussed in Tallahassee. It's very important to us and has been important for a long time to be responsible with the money that we have, with the taxpayers' money that we are granted, and to make the best use of that money that we can. So some of the things that we are prioritizing in this plan revolve around spending our money wisely, increasing our revenue, and maintaining our assets. So a couple of the things that have already been mentioned by some of our track members, we are looking at projects that will help us increase our ridership and increase the revenue that we get from sources other than taxes. So we have some projects underway to promote ridership, to encourage people to try riding the bus that might not already ride. And we're also looking at new ways that we can advertise, new ways that we can partner maybe with private businesses to help increase funding through those partnerships. We're also looking at ways to increase what we call state of good repair, and that's just the condition of our vehicles, our amenities, our facilities. If we maintain the things that we have properly, they're going to last longer and we won't need to replace them, which can be pretty costly. So we have some projects that are related to maintaining the assets that we have. We also have some projects that are going to help us improve some of our processes and make some strong decisions. We're doing some financial analysis on some of our contracted services and other process improvements around the agency that can just help us be more efficient. All right, you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So the second priority that's in the strategic plan is operational excellence. And this is focusing on things that make our service better and things that make us more safe and secure. So in this section of the strategic plan, you would find projects related to the construction of our new Clearwater station to replace the 40-year-old Clearwater station that's currently in existence. We're also launching some premium transit services. So we're looking at a route that might go along Alt 19 and the development of a new route that would go from downtown St. Pete directly to Tampa International Airport. We're also completing an RFP this year for our mobility on demand services, so our PSTA access services, and we'll be looking to secure a good and cost efficient and good service contract with a vendor for those services. And then the last thing I'll point out under this section is that it also includes projects related to safety and to security and cybersecurity. So things like implementing a new safety campaign on the bus, looking into security and crash collision prevention technology on our buses, and implementing a cybersecurity plan. Next slide, please. Great. And then the last of the three priorities is community impact. And for us, that is all about our stakeholder engagement and our workforce development and our employees. If you think about the projects that are going to enhance our service as being under the operational excellence category, our community impact priority is focusing on other ways that we are able to impact the community, thinking about transit-oriented design, so working with the municipalities to look at zoning, to look at road design and property development in ways that support better transit access. We're also focused on working with the city of St. Pete to make sure that multimodal transit will be a part of the gas plant redevelopment design project. Internally, we're also working to implement some changes that resulted from an employee engagement survey that we conducted last year, and look to make our workplace the best it can be so that we can attract and retain all of the great employees that we have here who help provide our strong service. Last slide, please. So the next steps in this plan, which has been nearly a year in development, are to present it to several important committees, like our executive committee, our board committee, and bringing it here to our track committee. We're then working to incorporate comments that we get, and we're presenting the full and hopefully final version of the plan to our board of directors at the end of February and hopefully secure their adoption. Once the plan is officially adopted, this year's budget planning process will be oriented around the projects that are slated in the plan to be completed for FY27. And the projects in the strategic plan become a part of our employee performance review process. So as projects are identified that need to be completed throughout the agency, people are assigned ownership of those projects, and performance reviews in part are based on employees being able to work together and bring those projects to a successful completion. So with that, I'd like to ask each of you if you have any questions, any comments about the plan. I'd like to invite you to take a look at the full copy of the plan that's included in your the agenda with all of your other packet documents for this meeting. And I would love to answer any questions or hear comments that you have about this.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Trish. Do I see, I don't see any hands yet. Does anyone have any comments about this? I think, like you said, the tough thing is that we just heard about what, it's got to be very hard to do good strategic planning in the time at times when people are, jeopardizing the income. But sounds like you're still doing that, and that's excellent. Anyone else have any thoughts, any comments? I'm not seeing any hands up there. Well, we really appreciate your telling us about this, though. Thank you, and I'm sure we will all take a look at it. And if we have any comments, they can probably just send emails to you, correct?
Yes, that'd be perfect.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was there someone just? Did someone just make a comment? God, I don't see a hand. So, all right.
I think Roman, he might have had a comment, but I'm not sure.
Roman, do you have a comment?
No, all good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right.
Chairwoman, I just want to say that just a big thanks to Trish and Debbie. We wanted to bring these presentations to the track committee because we wanted the track committee to start being more integrated, more engaged with some of the real big picture strategic things that the whole agency is working on. So a way to kind of get an idea of how to better integrate track to get the best kind of feedback so that you guys feel more a part and more informed of what we're doing. So it's to try to do our best to get, for you guys to hear information as soon as we're ready to present it to you.
No, we appreciate it very much because I think that, a couple of us have a history with track over years, and that was always a very important part for a lot of us as riders is we wanted you to engage with us because we're out there riding every day and we're seeing what the situations are. So as riders. So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, thank you again, Trish. And to continue with the meeting, the next thing is other business. And I know that Kim had asked me, she had wanted to make a member comment or a member a statement, and I told her to hold off till now. So Kim, did you have your statement you wanted to say?
Sure, hold on, so let me get started. I have contacted the PSTA Access Helpline at 540-1888. I have never spoken with a real person. I have left detailed messages at least 4 or 5 times to voice various issues and complaints. Each time I have included my contact information for a callback. I have never received a callback from anyone at the PSTA Access Helpline. Recently, my husband and I both left detailed messages complaining about access drivers who were playing loud music in their vans with passengers in the van. A recent good example of the poor service I received was on January 30th. Access picked me up at the Dolly in the afternoon. While I was in the van, my driver Anthony was blasting rap music. I asked him to please turn it off in the back of the van because I didn't want to hear it. He said he couldn't turn it off in the back of the van. He said that I would lower the volume of the music. He then proceeded to tell me that I was being video recorded. He also said that I had a negative vibe and not to talk to him. This entire situation was just plain wrong. As soon as I got home, I immediately called the 540-1888 number. Once again, no one answered the phone. I left a detailed message about the incident. Knowing that I probably would not get a call back, I also contacted Bonnie Sada and Mobility Services at PSTA about this incident because it really bothered me how Access clients are being treated. A week later, after still not hearing from anyone at the PSTA Access helpline, Bonnie got back with me and told me that she spoke with the contractor again about the radio issue. Thank goodness Bonnie was able to help me. Unfortunately, other Access clients don't have Bonnie's contact information to help them. My point of the story is this. In the Access vans, there are signs posted that inform all Access clients that if they want to give compliments or complaints to PSTA on the service received, they should contact the PSTA Access helpline at 540-1888. From past experiences, I've left detailed messages with my callback number and I've never received a callback regarding my complaint. I feel that PSTA should contact their clients who take the time to leave messages and at least acknowledge the compliment or complaint if someone asks for a callback. It would also be great if PSTA would take corrective action on complaints received. A live person that would answer the phone calls would be ideal. Or perhaps PSTA should remove the helpline signs from the Access vans. The current plan with the PSTA Access helpline does not seem to be working towards customer satisfaction. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Kim. And I think you're right that you have the access to let people know. And if I think it's good to let PSTA know that even you are not getting the callbacks that you deserve. Again, Juan and
Here- Yeah, I'd just like to, bring issues like this, I think, are very important, not just because of the issues writers are experiencing when they're using the services, but just because, it's something that will cause more other people to have issues. And so, it's very important that you contact me so that if this is something that's happening continuous, I can help address those issues. I know that we have service hours. I don't know what time you called, Kim, but it's important that people call you back in response to any issues that you have. And so to me, it's important that as track members, you're able to help all the other riders in our that are using, whether they're using buses or using other services that we offer. And just having the phone numbers that are out there, emails, online comments, it's important for all those things to be out there for our riders to be able to communicate any issues with us. But if those aren't working properly, we want to make sure that we address those as soon as possible.
At least
And
respond to me.
yes, and that's something that I'll also be talking to Bonnie about,
Thank
making
you.
sure that we are addressing and responding to our customers, especially when they're having issues.
Juan, Bonnie also sent just a little bit ago, she sent a response. Um and it looks like she says option 7 is designed to be a place where riders can leave a voicemail with a complaint for our team to investigate. I will work on ensuring we're returning calls for customers who leave messages. If you want to speak with an agent directly about any of your Access MOD rides, you can use options 1, 2, and 3 and say agent to be connected with someone. And that she hopes that helps. That just came through like within 20 minutes. So.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, and again, thank you, Kim. Now I see Jay has a hand up. Jay?
Yes. Yes. So, I actually have a question. Um, and then hopefully the answer to my question could maybe help my issue be solved. Um, I know when we were building the Sunrunner, we had funds left over. We were able to add the station on First Avenue North and First Street. Um, is there any funds left over from any of the Sunrunner projects? Um, and the reason I ask is because some of the stops need more benches. Just point blank. The stops at the Central Plaza, both on First Avenue South and North, there's literally just one bench, and that's one of our major transfer centers. And sure, the center run comes like every 15 minutes or whatever, but like it's our busiest route, so it's bound. It's when I go, it's never seating. Um, and it's just a concern I have, especially for the someone on First Avenue North at Central Plaza, First Avenue 32nd Street. I also think particular station stop maybe should be renamed or make even more clear that this is the way to get to Central Plaza. Most of us who ride it now know this, but if you don't, it just says First Avenue North and 32nd Street. And if you don't know that Central Plaza is on Central Avenue and 32nd Street, you will not know that this is where you go to get all the other buses. Um, Another place was on the Third Avenue, on the Third Street and Third Avenue, Summoner Station. It's the summer doesn't really do layovers in downtown, but if there was, this would be the spot. It's one of the main stations, and there's plenty of it. This is one of the longest stations I've seen on the Summoner, and yet it's only one bench, and there's always people there. It also doesn't help, or I don't help is not the right word. This is also kind of co-located with the non-Summoner bus stop on Third Avenue and Second Street. That is one block and it's just straight buses, but there's no bench, or if there is, there's one bench at the um Third Avenue and Second Street stop, and there's always, I mean, always people sitting on the ground waiting for the bus. It's just not acceptable, in my opinion. It's like we have it's like what 7 buses stopping at that one stop, and it's a time point for every one of them. So it's like there needs to be something better at that spot at least. I know we don't have a transfer station in downtown St. Petersburg anymore, for whatever reason. But there needs to be people still need to transfer. And at least back when it used to be at Williams Park, you could sit and wait for your transfer. Um, it just places things like that. So I would say the main ones I noticed, besides the um, third Summoner Station and the first and 32nd Summoner Stations are under benched. And then what's weird is like we have double benches at the First Avenue North and Fifth Street Summoner Station, but that is almost no one ever waiting there. So it's like I don't know, maybe during planning we thought that would be the more busy location, but it's not. So it's like I don't know, it needs to be equalized in some way, shape, or form to make the service better. Because
Thank you,
yeah.
Jay. I think what we've always said in the past too is you are totally free to contact. I guess now would be Juan to give him that list of what you need. And the other thing I know for me is when I wanted a bench in one location, I just called the customer service line and said it would be good to have that. And ultimately they did put one in. So those are good. Thank you for your input and definitely send them to Juan. Okay. I see Maxwell has his hand up.
Yes. So the location in downtown St. Pete you're speaking of is referred to as University Village. And yeah, I concur. It definitely needs more benches.
Okay, thank you. And again, by all means, send this information to to PSTA right away because they have a chance to do something about it even in advance of us having to complain.
Yeah, and we also have an online form, so for any of the writers that would like, to submit any, whether it's bench requests, any comments or suggestions that they have, they can also contact us through that way or the customer service info line.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Any other comments? All right. Well, I think then we're done with our meeting. I think what I'd like to remind you is that our next meeting will be on March 17th at 4 p.m. and that will also be virtual. And I wanted to point out, when I talked about the board meeting, the next board meeting is next week on February 25th at 9 a.m. That's available online too. You can actually watch the board meetings too. So those are always very, very interesting for any of us as well. So,
Oh, Gloria,
yes.
real quick, we rescheduled the Dunedin ride along for March 26th.
Oh, okay, good. Well, who's going to be going on that?
I think that was Mark Boyce that kind of got that rolling. So we'll make sure that Mark is aware.
Okay.
But I believe Dunedin is planning to bring all of their commissioners, and maybe the mayor too will stop in and visit.
That I would love to see all the communities do. I would like to see Clearwater do that as well.
Me too.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. If there's no other comments, then we'll see all each other on March 17th then.
Hey, Gloria, I did have one more comment. I
Yes.
just wanted to thank everyone, the 3-track members that made it all the way down to the Collard Greens. Roman was helping me out at the booth, and it was there were fun events we had on this past weekend. So I'll be sharing that information whenever we're out and about. We're going to be very busy during spring break as well, so I'll make sure to get all those fun events and anything that the outreach team, community affairs, is doing.
Thank you. That's always nice. All right. Well, we'll see you all next month then. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.